Hello again off the top. It's the Filter Forefront, our top 4 of the day, including, when is the last time your wife asked, honey, does this toy make me look fat? But we'll begin with this. And down the stretch they come. Maybe it doesn't matter how much money is spent. It might not be enough to become governor of California. Meg Whitman and Jerry Brown debated for the second time on Saturday, and there were fireworks in this one.
After November 2nd, no one's going to be watching out for Nikki Diaz. And Jerry, you should be ashamed. You and your surrogates put her deportation at risk. You put her out there, and you should be ashamed for sacrificing Nikki Diaz on the altar of your political ambitions.
You're the one who says, hey, everyone's got to be accountable. This is a terrible thing. We have all these millions of people. Don't run for governor if you can't stand up on your own 2 feet and say, hey, I made a mistake. I'm sorry. Let's go on from here.
Meg Whitman is on the run, trying to hang on to the early lead she built up. The debate scheduled for tomorrow night has been canceled. There is more, one more to come. Our contributors tonight, the editor of Turner's 2 Cents, Cameron Turner, and from RonKLA.com, Ron K. Our pictures are furnished by Skype. Ron, let's get started. Who is benefiting more from these debates?
Well, I think Meg has hurt herself terribly on every level. She mishandled it when she fired Nikki. I once had an illegal immigrant maid who got sick, and we paid her fare back to Guatemala so she could be with her family. People who are with you a long time, you have relationships, you have obligations. That's what I hold against her. But what does this have to do with who's going to be governor and deal with a $20 billion deficit, a rotting infrastructure, complete chaos in the state of California? You look at what this budget deal they finally put together more than 3 months late, and it's not a deal at all. It's a gutting of government, of public services, and a crushing of the people of this state. I don't give a darn about whether she had an illegal maid. I don't even care that she mishandled this whole thing. And I don't care, and I do care that Jerry's got nothing to say about anything, and neither does Meg. They haven't said anything about fixing the problems in the state of California, and I think I wish there was a none of the above category so we could vote against them both at this point.
Cameron, you have 45 seconds. Who are the debates benefiting?
Well, this debate last night, I think, certainly benefited Jerry Brown. Meg Whitman blew this opportunity. She said during the debate, I cannot win the governor's race unless I win the Latino vote. Well, you're not going to win the Latino vote, Meg Whitman, by going on Univision, the Spanish language network, and speaking against positions that are held dear by most Latinos in California. Real quickly, she began by talking about securing the border. But she refused to answer the simple question about how she felt about some pathway to citizenship. She opposes the DREAM Act. And she took a very patronizing attitude toward that student from Cal State Fresno who said, hey, I'm going to graduate with honors, but my parents were undocumented. Meg Whitman alienated the Latino vote, and she's not going to win that vote. And by her own scale, she's not going to win the election because of it.
All right. Well, that's to come. How about this? Smoking is not the healthiest thing you can do, but as an adult, you get to make that choice. The number of places you can smoke, well, that's being greatly reduced. City of Burbank voted to ban smoking on private balconies and multifamily residences. Smokers will no longer be allowed to light up in or around swimming pool areas when kids 17 or younger are present. Many cities have banned smoking in public areas. Some have banned smoking near restaurants or outdoor cafes. Again, it's not a great habit, but it's a tough one to kick. Should smokers have any rights, Cameron?
These restrictions on smoking are getting way out of control. Now, to put it in personal perspective, I'm an asthmatic. My dad was a smoker growing up, so I know a thing or two about secondhand smoke. But these restrictions have gone way too far. It was one thing to say limit or restrict smoking within closed spaces. But someone standing on the balcony of their own residence, that's preposterous. Yes, the smoke drifting from one residence to another might be a nuisance, but it isn't truly a health hazard. So we don't need government stepping in to micromanage. This is an opportunity for all of us to do work on some personal consideration and some mutual cooperation. These kinds of rules are a waste of time, and we've got a whole lot that our government leaders need to work on instead of wasting time on foolishness. foolishness like telling people they can't smoke outside at their own house.
All right, now let me jump in here, Ron, and play devil's advocate, because wouldn't the argument be from a non-smoker that secondhand smoke is bad for me?
Well, as I say, it is a nuisance, but unless you're exposed to secondhand smoke in a continuous and long-term manner, you don't really face major health risks.
All right.
That's why I say a neighbor who's smoking on his balcony every now and again, yes, that smoke's going to annoy you, but you're not going to be at risk of cancer because you inhale a little bit of that smoke every now and then. The restrictions are unnecessary.
Ron, you got 35 seconds. What can you say?
Okay, I agree with what Cameron says philosophically, but I got to tell you, I'm a heavy smoker. And a lot of things in life irritate me that other people do. A lot of things government does make me angry as hell. But I appreciate the pressure. It helps. It's helped people to quit. Smoking is a bad thing. You can't ban it. But it's this gradual coercion has helped a lot of people. And hopefully one of these days I'll be able to break the habit too.
All right. Now, maybe everybody can agree on that. I know we can all agree on this. Kids should not eat toys. Not because it makes them fat, but because they lack certain nutritional benefits. See, apparently the folks in San Francisco think that toys do make kids fat. The city is considering banning toys from fast food meals. We've heard about this before. We've talked about it. Apparently the feeling is if kids' meals didn't have toys that were worth 3 cents, they wouldn't want to eat fast food. And if they didn't eat fast food, they wouldn't be overweight. But Supervisor Eric Marr from San Francisco says it'll be okay to keep the toys in each meal if the meals come with fruit and vegetables. Or you could take my approach. If you don't want your kids to eat fast food, don't go to the drive-thru. Doesn't the responsibility lie with the parents here? Is removing toys from Happy Meals going to take care of childhood obesity, Ron?
Well, it's utterly ridiculous. It's a world of difference between smoking and a toy that gets a kid to eat a meal, that gets a fast meal for a family on the rush. It's part of ordinary life. It's not the toy that's bad. It's eating fast food, McDonald's, French fries, hamburgers, and grease every meal of the day.
Yeah, but see,
and if parents don't raise their any kids better than that, then they're going to have to learn and figure it out.
Right.
I mean, it's totally paternalistic. It's patronizing. It's insulting to tell people it's an educational issue, and they ought to be educating kids in school about food, and they ought to be educating parents. It's not such a mystery that fruits and vegetables and exercise are a good thing. The problem is take away the video games, take away the endless watching of television and playing on computers, and maybe the kids will burn off some of those calories.
Here's the thing I don't understand, and I have kids, but if you have, let's say, a 5-year-old kid, and they say, I want to go to the drive-thru, I want fast food. It is my understanding that they're not going to get in the car and drive there themselves. Therefore, it seems incumbent upon the parents to say, you're not going to the drive-thru. Am I right, Cameron?
It's very simple. You hit it exactly squarely on the head. Parental responsibility is the key to this whole thing. And, Ron made a good point about education. And, my kids are middle school age. And when they were in elementary, and even now in middle school, they have regular nutrition sort of lectures and classes and things, about healthy snacks. But the bottom line is, look, you can't run your kids through the fast food spot 3-4 times a week. You just simply cannot do that. Parents, come on. First of all, we'd all save money if we bought more fruits and vegetables and fed that to our kids. The kids would be healthier. This business of trying to put more, it's like this nonsensical thing, this nonsense about posting the calories and the fat content of food on menus. Come on. Nobody's going to determine whether they want, what they want on the menu based on those criteria. People have got to make choices. And if you don't make healthy choices, you have unhealthy results. Bottom line.
All right, well, here's a choice that everybody's going to have a chance to make. It's coming up. While we focus on the upcoming state elections, keep in mind the presidential election is 2 years away. You can bet in back rooms across this great land right now, people are putting together plans of action. If President Obama is not reelected, who should the next president be? I've got 2 words for you. You're hired. How about Donald Trump? Now, it's not my idea, but there are some whispers. A group of pollsters are calling voters to feel things out about Trump. He knows how to make money. He knows how to communicate on TV. For him, it's not personal. It's just business. Trump says he's not behind the calls, but he says it's interesting. Donald Trump for president in 2012. Cameron, step into the boardroom and make your case. Go.
Donald Trump has no interest in being president of the United States. This is a man who... He's a tycoon who's made several fortunes and is now having a fantastic time being a media figure, being a celebrity. He does not want to trade all that in for the headache of running the Oval Office. He has no interest in being president. He has no background or experience to prepare him for it. This is fun to laugh about, but if Donald Trump's name is on the ballot, something's wrong.
What does that mean? You wouldn't vote for him?
Why would I vote for him? He's not qualified. He doesn't want the job.
Okay,
he doesn't want to be president.
Okay, you know what? I can make the argument who is qualified. Who is qualified in politics? I can make that argument right now.
Well, let's put it to Donald Trump and let him run a TV show where he auditions all the candidates who step forward and finds the winner in the end. We can get rid of the election, save the $1 billion in campaign contributions, and we can pick it by, let Donald pick it. I mean, it's the trivialization and absurdity of the political processes. And I got to tell you, I think most people in America feel it is trivial and absurd today. Politics has failed us. The politicians have failed us. And something's going to give as the nation faces the kinds of troubles that we're facing today.
Well, I'll tell you something. If you made that statement in the boardroom, Ron, he would fire you. You'd be done.
I've been fired before, Fred. It's okay.
All right, Ron, Cameron, nice job tonight. Really terrific. Thanks so much. I'll talk to you again soon.